Fiona, it's been really hard. It's been probably one of my worst experiences in the den.
What's up, Internet? I'm Daniel, the Pitch Professor. New week, new video, and this one is special because this was requested by you. Well, one of you. And it's like seaweed, seaweed, seaweed. And I thought, seaweed? That's like what you put on sushis and stuff, isn't it? So then I went to the interweb and, well, I found this beauty. And as always, I haven't really seen it, but I have browsed the comments. And they seem spectacular. So I'm more than curious to have a look at this beauty. A little older, but it seems to be an absolute golden nugget. It's got a ton of views and a ton of comments. And yeah, it's called One of My Worst Experiences in the Den. So that sounds promising as well. Because, you know, sometimes you learn from the best and sometimes you learn from the ones that have to learn the most. Let's put it that way. Anyhow, 1, 2, 3. Let's go and have a look at this beautiful pitch.
Hello, I'm Fiona Houston from Mara Seaweed, and this is Rory McPhee, my seaweed hunter. We turn this humble seaweed, this forgotten superfood, into beautiful premium seasonings that are delicious and healthy alternative to salt. I'm here to ask you for £100,000 for 3% of our business. We are 2/3 of the way through our second round of funding, which we're going to close out in the next couple of months. And we are going to build this company into a £7 million export brand, with 70% of our sales coming from exports. Since we launched our products last year in premium retailers in the UK, like Harrods and Harvey Nichols, we've extended throughout the retail in the UK, and we launched in Marks and Spencer's nationwide last week. I brought Rory on board 2 years ago, and he's our seaweed hunter. Rory?
I've got the best job in the world. My role is to get seaweed for Fiona, so I cast a wide net. I've got harvesters scouring the beaches, the cold, lonely, clean beaches of West and East Scotland. No seaweed, no sales, no profit. Thank you very much.
So, Fiona.
Well, I haven't seen the profession of seaweed hunter on LinkedIn before. I mean, we're in times where you can make up your own jobs, and that's great. And well, I call myself the pitch professor, and that's probably nothing you can study in university, right? But then again, I like the way one of the dragons took down seaweed hunter. And it was like in inverted commas. You saw it right there. Let's look at the pitch. So 100K for 3%, that's ambitious. That's a very high valuation. They do say they're looking for a second round. So there you go. So we've understood someone else has invested in them, made their due diligence. So that's quite good. They seem to have, according to them, significant traction being in Harrods and Harvey Nichols and so on. So that's other people's due diligence. So other people who are professionals look at their product, go like, seaweed. That's great. And give them the benefit of the doubt and list them. And having a listing in a shop is a tricky thing to achieve. So hats off for that. The pitch itself, I have to admit, I thought it was boring, at least the start. So Fiona really lacked the energy at the beginning. I'm not saying that you have to go in there, like a 6-month-old Labradoodle who's chasing a ball or something like that, like totally bonkers. But you want to have energy. And she started off, well, with the energy of someone who's taken those 3 pills to have a little bit of a snooze. So that was a bit of a... However, she kind of upped the pace over time, but I didn't think she was very convincing, nor if you think of it, maybe she's the 19th pitch that day and the dragons have had a long day and they go in and it just starts with, That's hard. And this is a pro tip. When you build your pitch, don't build the pitch for well-rested, concentrated, and curious brains. Build the pitch for people who've heard a ton of boring stuff, who've had a very long day, a ton of decisions, and they've had to make their in a studio, on a stage, in an office, which hasn't been aired for hours. Their heads are hurting, and then you go in. So understand, how do you attract their attention in the first few seconds? That's super relevant. However, I see why this pitch was recommended. Fiona, okay. Rory, he's the man. He's the seaweed hunter. So I was expecting him to do something other than collect seaweed, but he said no seaweed, no profit. So there you go. He seems a bit of an odd character. Seems very happy, very content. He seems to be, for me, he has this intellectual, whatever air around him. But then again, he has a big net and collects seaweed, and he has the best job in the world. So there you go. Anyhow, that's my first impressions. So I'll give the pitch, I don't know what, it's 3 out of 10. However, the seaweed hunter is something that would really make me curious and ask questions. Oh yeah, and out of the whole excitement, I nearly forgot the best part. So they're looking to have a £7 million export business. That's ambitious. Let's find out what the dragons have to ask.
Rory, I get quite excited when I see a pitch come in and immediately come up with a valuation of around £3 million. So this business must be making a lot of money already. So I'm now really, really intrigued. So I'd love to get straight into that valuation because I can just see pound notes. So,
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of first-time entrepreneurs are usually disappointed because after a pitch, they expect people to talk about product and details, and probably Rory is expecting to say, so Rory, how do you do that with a net? And tell us about your most exciting moment in hunting seaweed and the most dramatic fight you ever had with it. Yet, to be honest, as an investor, you are just quite simply curious to understand the business side of things. And you need to know your numbers for that. And if you say you need 100K for 3%, that means things are going well. And that's what our friend Mr. Jones is expecting here as well. You can see he's seeing the pound notes in his eyes. Probably wants to buy the next Patek. So let's see.
So how much money are you making?
We're making, we made £200,000 in the last 6 months.
Great. So you made £200,000 net profit in the last 6 months?
No, turnover.
No.
We turned over £200,000 worth of sales last in
so your
2014.
revenue in the last, so give me the last 12 months revenue.
Was £200,000.
Gross profit?
We haven't made a profit yet. We're break even at the end of this year.
What? Wait. So, okay, so they have, no, okay, but how do you get break even then?
I think I need to ask that again. You've turned over 200,000.
Yeah.
What was your gross profit?
We expect to break even by Q4.
No, you need to answer the question.
I haven't made. We are.
You don't make any gross profit?
Not yet. No.
Do you know what gross profit is?
Oh no. No, clearly not.
Yes, I know what gross profit is.
What is it?
Why are you? What's the question?
The question is, what's the gross profit of your operation? And you just said you know what it is. What is gross profit?
The gross profit is your total sales.
Yeah.
Minus your overhead.
No, it's not.
I mean, not minus your overhead, including your overhead.
No, it's not. Gross profit is what you sell a product for and what you buy the product for.
So you're asking what my margin is on the product?
No, I'm asking you a very specific question. I'm saying, what is your gross profit? So I'll ask a different question. To get the sales of 200,000, how much did you pay for the seaweed and the product?
Okay, the seaweed was 350,000.
You do realise in business that the idea is that you try and keep your cost of sale below the price that you sell a product for, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, this is terrible. Okay. I mean, on a stage, it's normal that you can have a brain fade, and that's great. But here, it doesn't seem to be like a brain fade happening in that moment. That can sometimes happen. I've seen some of the smartest people while on stage and under pressure and anxiety and limelight that people just go like, what? That's normal. How do you avoid this? By knowing your numbers inside out. That doesn't mean that you look at it the second before you go on stage for the first time. It means inside out. And I'll show you a pro tip here. in a random conversation, without any warning, just ask people, just try it out the next time you talk to someone. Just say, favorite animal. And there's two replies you'll get. Either people go, dog, or they go, kind of the not so, kind of not so smelly, maybe cat. What does that mean? In my case, I love dogs. Always have, always will. Greatest animals on the planet. And if you wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you ask me, favorite animal, dog. If I don't know my stuff, I'm going to start hesitating. I'm going to start kind of going all over the place, and while I'm mumbling, I'll try and come up with my answer. I was a terrible student, so I'm kind of good at that. Nowadays, I lecture in a couple of universities, so I'm quite good at also spotting fellow terrible students. That's a long, different story. But here's the point. Try it out, and I know you'll just get these two responses. Either a one-word response with the answer, or kind of like going all over the place. So what does it mean? It means either you know, what's your revenue in 2019? You go, 1.2. What's your profit you made? 250K. It's just random numbers I'm saying. Or you go like, I don't know. So you need to know these numbers inside out. And people can tell by the way you answer, is it something you are sure? Are you confident in the reply? Or is it something where you seem a little unsure? Fiona over here, she's all over the place. I first thought she was rattled and just a little unsure, but just now saying she has what did she say? A turnover of 200K in seaweed, and she buys seaweeds for 350K. That means she's making a negative 150 a year just on the goods she's buying. That's mad. I mean, you can do this if you're like a large tech company and you're trying to get into a market to sell a hardware, but you have, like they say, a recurring business model behind it. So you're selling a hardware. I just had a talk about this yesterday with someone. They're selling hardware. They're making a loss on the hardware, yet they're making a gigantic profit on people's subscription models. That's perfectly fine, but I doubt you have a subscription model on seaweed. Oh, Fiona. Maybe Rory's going to come in for the rescue. You never know.
Yes, but we're starting up our business.
So why do you come in and value yourself at 3 million?
Because we've already sold it at that. I've raised nearly £500,000. I've raised £365,000 already in the last 3 months for the next round of this business. There's lots of serious investors.
Look, I get all of this, but do you not find this bizarre?
I do. Go, Rory.
How did you raise £350,000?
What do you mean, how did I raise it?
Are you really saying that to me?
No, well, it's just... Anyway,
Fiona, I've got a question for you. Did you come in here looking for a fight?
No, not at all.
Because I've got to tell you, your approach is just, for me, completely alienating.
I really didn't.
And I think, Peter, you've been extremely patient and helpful. Because I've got to tell you, if you'd done that to me...
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, clearly Fiona doesn't understand her numbers. Understood. I think Peter's pushing her. At the end of the day, it's a show, right? So he's also trying to get those moments. At the other hand, Deborah seems a little upset. We don't know how many pitches they've seen that day. So maybe they've had 3, 4, 5, 6 terrible pitches before. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't respond that way if this were the first pitch. But here's the thing. You need to value the person's time you are presenting to. And if you go in ill-prepared, it's just a sign of lack of importance, lack of valuing their time. And it's something, I don't like that either. Like, it's even if you're paid well for that time, you expect people to come into the room well prepared to make the most of the moment. And if there's people who are just ill-prepared, it's unpleasant. This is not nice in a meeting. This is terrible on a TV show where every second is caught for eternity. And a smart Alec like myself comes back a couple of years later and even analyzes that and kind of digs the wound deeper. But this is something you need to learn. Always, whenever you pitch, present, public speak, whatever it is, understand this could be 2 people, 2,000 people, 20,000 people, I don't care. That also every moment is going to be recorded. Might be with cameras, might be just random people holding smartphones. You know, everyone has one of those. This is going to be kept for eternity. So whatever you have to present, be willing and able to stand to it for eternity, or at least as long as the internet exists. This is going bad, and it's very bad to get out of this scenario right now because 2 of the dragons are already saying, look, I'm really offended. I'm not happy with this. It's very, very hard to turn this around. So what do you do in that environment? I don't think you should go fighting mano a mano. We had that last week as well. There. But rather try and open a new topic. Move on. Move away from that and offer a new topic of negotiation or a new topic to talk, because this ground has been clearly lost. Let's see what Fiona and Rory do.
I'm sorry about that. That's not actually what I'm like. You can ask the people I work with.
Well, I can't, can I?
Well, I work with Rory.
Yeah, but I've only got one chance. You've got... No, I haven't got one chance. I get loads of chances. I get loads of people trying to pitch to me. You have this chance. And you...
Well, I'm sorry. I can't rewind. I can't rewind.
No, you can't.
This far.
No, I won't be investing, Fiona. I'm out.
It's a weird energy she's giving.
Despite Fiona's apology, Deborah Meaden makes an early exit. Can Nick Jenkins weed out a better understanding of Mara's financial forecast?
Can I just ask, are you standing here at the moment thinking, kind of wish I'd got the numbers guy standing there as well?
A little bit, but it's also, I think differently. I can demonstrate to you in different ways.
But you're not demonstrating it very well at the moment. But what I want to know is, you said that you want to turn this into a £7 million export brand.
Yeah.
When it's turning over 7 million, what's it going to be making in terms of profitability?
Next year it's 400, the year after it's 900, and the year after that it's 1.3, and the year after that it's 2.4.
In the year when it's making 2.4 million net profit, how much turnover is it making?
It's making around 8 million.
That is around about a 30% net profit.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. She's clearly learned some numbers off by heart without understanding them. I'm pretty sure without having calculated them herself. Because, I mean, this reminds me like these moments in school where people copied their homework and suddenly the teacher goes in on university and challenges that. And suddenly you can see someone knows the numbers off by heart without knowing how these numbers were created. And whatever you present on a stage, you have to be able to defend. You have to understand it. You have to calculate it. And whatever grilling you get, especially in a pitch environment, you have to be able to understand how you got there. If you're unsure about that, have a second person with you who has that ability. I still don't understand where Rory's there because, like, he's the seaweed hunter. Great. Well done, Rory. But he has no... He doesn't add to it. He can't jump in there. He can't support. He has no skill set that seems to be valuing it in any form or function. I don't understand why Fiona brought him along. The numbers guy or girl should be there. Then we wouldn't have this.
Do you know many businesses supplying in scale to supermarkets that make 30% net profit?
We're not supplying. Look, I've spoken to quite a few food and drink investors, and on exit, companies like Dorset Cereals, for example, their EBITDA is around 30 to 40%.
Who was that you spoke to at Dorset Cereals?
I don't want to get involved with names.
Look, I think there's some...
I mean, a quick thing. I mean, yes, it's a good question from Peter. I'm assuming, I mean, always this kind of stuff is edited in some form or function. I understand that on a TV show, you might not want to disclose a name. Probably they would have edited out. But then again, it's a lifeline because if she says it's, I don't know what, Georginia, and he goes, oh, I know Georginia. I can call her later. And Georginia said, no, she's great. She just had a bit of a hiccup today. That's a way. It's a way to get credibility in. But right now, it's just going all over the place. And yeah.
Something in seaweed. And actually, I eat a lot of seaweed. So I completely get where you're coming from with it. But it's totally irrelevant because you've made it so hard for us to invest, because you've come in and no matter what we ask you, you're so defensive. But it's impossible to invest. I'm so sorry. I'm out.
I mean, Fiona has that response
Rejected
to
again,
face.
and by the dragon with food credentials.
She's also not presenting herself in a likable way. With that, I mean, is you're also there to say, look, I'm here. I'm happy to find someone else to work with. It's, you know, pitching is in a way like dating. You're looking for someone else with whom you want to spend a significant amount of time. You'll have a lot of very hard scenarios you're going to face in a couple next month and years to come. So you have to also establish a relationship built on trust. Someone you like, someone where, you know, like if the going gets tough, you can understand each other. Someone having that smirk on their face the whole time, I wouldn't want to work with that person. And that's the thing, how you present yourself. And she's clearly not presenting herself well. Rory, again, he's essentially decoration. I'm sorry about that, Rory, but I still don't know why he's there.
But there are still 2 more fish in the sea, and Tuka Suleiman has been unusually quiet.
Fiona, Rory, Tuka, how are you?
Hello there.
Let's start again. You've heard everything. Let's revalue the business today. Right? Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you an offer.
What? Okay, I just wanted to point out something else. Look out for Peter Jones' ears. They are bright red. That means Peter Jones is massively pissed off. He's massively upset. Red ears are usually a very good indication for people being very nervous or very angry or something's going on. Tuka's ears, in comparison, they're not red. I've done quite a few Dragon's Den videos so far. No offers so far, other than not very well meant ones. So I'm curious what he's going to offer now. I don't know what he's seeing there, but still. The others are going like, what the dude?
I'll give you all the money. I want 50%. That's my offer.
Okay. Well, that's...
It's a very generous offer.
Is it a serious offer?
Serious offer.
I mean, they wanted 3%. He's offering 50%.
Whilst you
Well,
consider, I'll tell you where I am, then you can negotiate with him. Fiona, it's been really hard. It's been probably one of my worst experiences in the den of 10 years.
She's laughing.
I don't know what to say. I'm lost for words.
I'm sorry I didn't manage to persuade you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but we've...
So, Fiona, I'm not going to invest and say that I'm out.
I think I've figured that out.
She's just not getting it, is she?
No surprises there as Peter Jones exits the deal, pulling no punches with his opinions. But they do have that unexpected lifeline of an offer from Tuka Suleiman, but for 47% more than the 3% they wanted to give away.
So I've given you a very generous offer based on what I've heard.
Are you sure?
It's a very generous offer.
You want to go back and think about it?
Okay.
That look. I mean, she's clearly taking the piss, isn't she? I mean, the way she looks at Rory, like, what an idiot. I mean, I don't know, but it's like, this is a terrible. Thanks again for pointing out this pitch. It's full of gems. But again, also understand, even these small looks, people can see that. People will see that. And it's just a very unfortunate way of doing things. By the way, if someone offers you 50%, what does it mean? It means not that they have a small amount and they kind of, have a word or two to say. It means they run the business with you. Maybe Rory has 1 or 2%. I'm not sure. I don't know their cap table. So maybe Fiona doesn't even have 50%. But it means at the end of the day, it's a significant stake where the other one takes over your business. And for me, making a 50% offer is something, I wouldn't call it immoral, but it's basically saying, look, I like to push you aside and I'll take over the thing and you go hunt seaweed and I do the business part. That's what it says to me. Let's see how the two of them respond, but they have been creative in their responses. So talking.
Thank you very much for your offer, but we're going to say no.
Of course you will.
Fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
So as a humble seaweed harvester, this has been an invaluable educational lesson for me, so thank you very much.
Thanks, Rory.
Was that a humble
Well,
seaweed
Fiona
hunter?
and Rory had a shaky start, and it was stormy waters from then on in.
What the is a humble seaweed hunter? I think someone's kind of overestimating the significance of his role, and but yeah, whatever. A humble seaweed hunter. Might put that on LinkedIn one day.
They leave empty-handed, unable to fathom where it all went wrong.
Well, that couldn't have got any worse, could it?
High risk. You've been badly advised.
Two cut.
Did you see the way she stared at the back of his head? I was expecting she's going to pull out a gun and just go. And she wouldn't do that in real life, but that stare. Oh.
Have you just replaced your brain with the very thing they came in to sell?
Can I just say
Seaweed.
something? Can I just say something? If they said yes, I would have got in there and sorted them out.
Well, that was tough going for Fiona. But a braver woman I've yet to meet.
That felt like being back at school in front of the headmaster being told off.
Yes, it did. And if you want to avoid that, do your homework if you present. Well, that was awkward. But then again, that's the whole point of the channel, looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the world of pitching. And
Bitcoin on call.
that's exactly what we've done. So in that sense, thank you very much for joining. Take care, stay safe, and see you next week. Bye-bye.